Welcome back to episode 2 of Nail Chronicles, where I tell y'all all my crazy nail tech stories. So let's go ahead and get into this video. If you haven't already, make sure you get caught up on the other stories that I have told. I'm going to link the playlist right here. It always starts off in a good sunny day. So I was doing one of my regulars' nails, and she's in school, high school to be particular. And she was telling me how, some of her classmates were asking her about her nails, saying who did them because they wanted to get their nails done for their school dance that was coming up. When she told me that, I really didn't think too much into it or get my hopes too high, because I know sometimes it's like a 50-50 chance that they're going to contact you and a 50-50 chance that they're not. So I'll say like a week goes by and I get a notification that I have a message on my nail Instagram. The first girl, I'm going to call her thing 1, and then her friend, I'm going to call her thing 2. When me and thing 1 first started texting, I could tell by her verbiage, her and thing 2 were trying to book the appointment at the same time, same day, like they both wanted to be in the salon together, and that was just not going to work. So I really had to let her know real nicely, I don't do extra guests, because me and my sister share this space, so I'm not sure where else she's going to sit. That's why I just don't do that. They were both very understanding, but still kind of bummed out that they couldn't have their appointments together. So after that little debacle, I ended up starting to text both of them separately. Now, me and thing 1 conversation was very quick, very short. She knew what she wanted. We went ahead and talked about the dates that was going to be good for her. She was a little confused about the inspo pick and regular French tips. And I just explained to her, I'll put the messages right here at the top. I was just explaining to her how if you get regular French tip, it's just plain French tip, one color, whatever. But then where it turns into a recreation set is if the French tips have anything on it or any extra designs. And she wanted a nail tech's worst nightmare: double French tips. So between me and her conversation, I'm still going back and forth from texting thing 2. And me and thing 2 are having the same conversation, but hers is just really intricate, really time consuming, because I'm going to say this early now, she was very, very indecisive. And it really affected her appointment when it came down to it. When it came to the day of thing 1's appointment, she texted me and told me she was outside, and I always get nervous when I go and meet new clients or have any new clients. And I be having to say in the back of my head, Jada, you have to shake that off, because they're probably nervous too, just like how you're nervous. So you have to make them as comfortable as possible. So that's what I did. And I went to the gate. I grabbed her. I was asking her questions like, oh my goodness, how far you live? How was the drive? Da, da, da. Did you find everything okay? Because I know sometimes some people be getting lost. A real quick conversation, kind of break the ice a little bit before we get in the salon. And the conversation just kept lingering as I was doing her nails. We had good conversations. It was real fun. She was talking to my sister. We were just having a whole vibe in there. We kind of had a little hiccup towards the end of her appointment because I take Zelle, Cash App, or cash. So she had Zelle, but through Capital One, and I had Zelle through Chase. So it really took a while for it to transfer over to my Chase account from her Capital One account. So she was just showing me the email saying how basically I'm not trying to play you or anything like that. Here's the email saying that the money has sent. It's just taking a while. So we're sitting there, we're waiting, and I'm keep refreshing my messages, my bank account, all those things. And okay, she was like, you want me to just end up disputing it and I'll just give it to you in cash, da, da, da. So I was like, okay, fine. Yeah. Because I'm guessing this is last resort. We've been sitting here for 10 minutes. And right as soon as she called the people, I got the message on my phone saying that this such and such has Zelled you. And I was like, whoo, good thing I checked my phone. Because if you were disputed this stuff, it would just been a whole mayhem. So the money ended up going through. It was good to go. And she ended up leaving. The next day, thing 2's appointment was the day after that. And I was very stressed this day. You want to know why? Because this was my first time having a 3-client nail day, back to back, boom, 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 boom. Y'all can go ahead and check out the video right here. I'm going to link it right here. Thing 2 nails was in that video. She was my first client of the day. She was going to set off how my day went. Me and thing 2 are still texting the day before her appointment and everybody else's. And it's just, the texts are just getting more lengthier and lengthier and lengthier. Like we were texting for days because I'm trying to figure out, I'm going to have these 3 clients. I'm really trying to figure out what design do you want so I could already have everything out, everything prepped. For my other clients, I already have everything out. But for you, we're still going through 12 plus inspo pics. No joke. I'm understanding the theme that she's going for and what she wants. She told me she has a Rapunzel theme because her dress is like this lavender purplish. So she sent me the pictures of her dress and I'm trying to compare it to the inspo pic, and I'm like, okay, you can go with this theme, you can go with this purple. This purple matches the dress more perfectly. And then she's like, I don't know. Da-da-da-da. I'm like, girl, you need to figure it out ASAP. Like, come on now. Chop, 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 chop. We got to the inspo pic. The day of her appointment comes. We're texting. She gets a little confused because she ends up pulling up to the wrong house. Like, I see the car go past my house. So I'm like, okay. So I text her. I'm like, is this you? And she was like, yeah, I'm outside. So I was like, you're at the wrong house. My house is like 3 houses down and on the opposite side of the street. And she was like, oh, okay, I see you. Because I was like waving my hand and I was like standing in front of the gate. So she comes walking across the street and I was a little shocked because I'm like, she's very little. Like, I thought she was like a kid. Like, no jokes. No offense to anybody. She's like 4'10". So I was like, okay. So we're having a conversation. I'm walking her to the shed. And when we get in the salon, she like sits in the chair. And when I'm like taking my stuff out, I can notice that like her feet aren't touching the ground. So I was like, okay, let me ask her, like, is she comfortable? I was like, yeah, can it just be like a little higher? So I was like, okay. So we fixed the chair, we got it situated. And I was like, you're comfortable? You okay? And she was like, yeah, I'm fine. So I could see that she's like still like texting on her phone, and she was asking me like, oh, what type of payment do you take, as I'm like prepping her nails. So I told her, and she was like, you don't have like Venmo or anything else like that? And I'm like, no, I have this, that, and the third. And when you book with me, it obviously shows my policy. So I'm like, oh my goodness, what do I have all this for? What did I do all this for if nobody is still not going to read it? So she's on her phone the whole time and she's still trying to figure it out. I can see like she keep pulling out like cards, trying to like type it into like Cash App and things like that. And I'm still like prepping her nails because I got to get this on the road. I got to get this going. I got a next client in like 2 hours. We got to get this rolling. And that is just like my worst fear, for you to still be in here and her just standing here waiting. And my sister has a client. So it's just like, we got to keep going. So her nail appointment goes on and on and on and on. And I'm just doing different steps. You know, we have a good time and I'm on the road. And she's still trying to figure out the payment situation. So I'm like, okay, once we get to the end, we could figure this all out. I can help her and stuff like that. I'm just trying to get done with these nails before my next client comes. So we're getting towards the end and I'm doing like the last final little designs, and that is the chrome isolation. So she pulls out her phone and she tells me, oh, do you think you can do this real quick? Mind you, I look up and it's the sun from Rapunzel. The sun from Rapunzel. Girl, do you not know how intricate that sun is? And we're down to like the last 20 minutes. No, I cannot do that sun. So I told her nicely and I was like, no. I was like, my next client comes at 4. Mind you, it's like 3:40. So she was like, oh, okay. Yeah, girl. Don't test it today. Don't test your luck today. Please. I'm on my last try. I finished her nails and the payment is still not working. So she was like, I have cash, but it's at home. So I'm staring at her and she's looking at me. So I was like, okay, my client's about to come here. She texted me. She told me she was outside. Mind you, she's just like 5 minutes earlier. She's always a little earlier. So I was like, is there anything that you could leave here with me? And she was like, I have like my cards and things, but they don't have anything on them. And then I was like, what about your phone? And she was like, well, yeah, I can leave my phone because it's about to go dead. And she was like, okay, I'll just text you off of she told me she was just texting me off of her friend's account. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Just leave your phone. And when you come back, so I can at least know that you're coming back. She's like, I'm not trying to run off or anything like that. I just really can't figure out the payment situation. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So she leaves. And then I tell my other client, I was like, okay, you could come on back. And she was like, my other client started talking. It was cool. And she was like, oh, I just need the little girl leave. And I was like, yeah, that was my other client. So we just started talking. Having just casual, cool conversation, and her appointment goes on, and then it rolls over to my next appointment. And I'm just checking my phone periodically to see when thing 2 is going to text me and tell me that she's outside, because I don't want to be in the middle of doing the application and she'll be like, hey, I'm outside, and I'll be like, ah. So I'm almost done with like my clients filing and things like that, and I get like a knock at the door. So I opened the door and it was her, and she was like, oh, here it goes, da da da. So I once I heard the knock, I already knew it was her. So I like grabbed her phone like out the drawer that I had it in, and I handed it to her, and she handed me the money, and I was just counting the money and stuff like that, because she already gave me like portion of it from like the deposit on the booking site. So I already have like that half of the money, so she just owed me like her remaining balance. So when she gave me the money, I was counting the money like in front of her to make sure that it was like the correct amount. And I gave her her phone, and she was apologizing. And that's how the day, well, not ended, but that's just how we ended right then and there. And she left. I go back into the salon, and I was just finished doing my other client's nails. I was just really exhausted by the time I got done. I was very drained after doing their nails. When I tell y'all I haven't eaten, I have not eaten from like 2 all the way to 8 o'clock. I did not eat, y'all. I was starving. I was drained. Like, I was like, whew. Like, I had a headache out this world. I was like, oh my goodness, I hope this never ever happens to me ever again. Definitely let me know down in the comments below if y'all ever dealt with an indecisive client like that. I have dealt with indecisive people, but I think she was like the top boss of indecisiveness. Like, I never dealt with nobody that was, oh girl. Usually people be indecisive and just be like for a few seconds, and they be like, all right, this is what I want, and it'd be cool on about the day, on about the appointment. But definitely let me know down below if y'all are dealing with something like that currently, and I can help y'all out, because I have dealt with a lot. I have definitely dealt with a lot my few years with doing nails, and it's just been crazy. And if y'all have any stories down below, let me know, because I would definitely love to read them. And I think today's lesson that I definitely have learned was standing on your boundaries. If you know that you're not able to squeeze in that design, let them know right then and there. Don't say you can squeeze in that design and then next thing you know, all your clients behind you are late and you got to push them back and all that. It would have just been mayhem if I would have told her, yeah, okay, da da da, and been a people pleaser how I used to be. Stand on your boundaries. Stand on them. And make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if y'all like this video. And do not forget to follow my Instagram and my TikTok, where y'all can see the final parts of my nails, and turn on y'all notifications for the shorts, because I'll be giving tea in the shorts too. And I'm going to see you guys in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.